Hi, I'm Mark. I'm here to talk about using oxy-hydrogen electrolysis for glassblowing. In this second video, I want to give you a bit more background about the project. I'd heard about electrolysis somewhere years ago and often wondered if it could be used for borosilicate glassblowing. Basically, it's a very cool process which uses electricity to split water molecules into an oxygen and hydrogen gas mix, which can then produce a very hot flame for welding and other applications. The really cool thing about it is that you're basically burning water to produce a very hot flame, and all you end up with is water vapor. A couple of years ago, while writing my novel Essence of Cloud, I decided to include a chapter set in the near future where my fictional characters use electrolysis as a green way to blow glass. Later, I thought maybe I should look more closely at the possibility. I did some research but couldn't find anything about electrolysis for glass artwork. During a chat with Robert Grinkowski of Sarah and Sebastian Jewelers, he mentioned that they sometimes use small electrolysis machines for fine metal applications. Another jeweler, Santiago Rossi, kindly let me test his machine, which was too small to melt glass, but hot enough to spark my further interest. I came across OK Energy, a Chinese manufacturer of electrolysis welding equipment, online. The fellow artist Shirley Wu helped me negotiate with the company in Mandarin. They advised me that the OH-1000 unit would probably be the best for my flamework purposes. I found that the only machine of this kind in Australia was being used at Adelaide University for some important research into extracting hydrogen from seawater and a new generation of renewable batteries. Professor Shuzhang Chao and his team kindly allowed me to visit the laboratory accompanied by Dr. Susanna Eliott and Shirley Wu to test their machine with a borosilicate tube. This was a qualified success. The flame was a lot smaller than what I'm used to, however it did melt the glass. So I took the plunge and bought a machine myself and began my current experimental project to make borosilicate sculpture. Here you can see Dion Kozik and I mixing electrolyte with purified water for the machine. Once I had it set up in the studio, Shirley Wu, Simi Eliott and I began experiments with the torch. I found out some interesting background to the technology from an Australian expert in the field named Peter Griffiths. The first of these devices was actually developed back in the 1970s here in Sydney, Australia, by Yul Brown, a Bulgarian-born inventor with a colourful history. He believed that hydrogen was going to be a clean energy solution for the future, but at the time his research attracted little international interest and some ridicule. He was clearly decades ahead of his time. The process, which he called Brown's gas, is unique. Unlike other forms of electrolysis, it includes monatomic hydrogen and excited oxygen molecules which, on ignition, react and implode within a nanosecond. This releases quantum energy in a completely safe and sustainable manner. Yul and Peter did receive interest in China and went on to help establish the oxy-hydrogen industry there. OK Energy then began producing oxy-hydrogen welding machines. Here is my first experimental artwork using the OH-1000 machine, titled Lupe. My second work I call Yo-You. And the third, Capsicapple. Oxy-hydrogen generation requires no fossil fuel if solar or other renewable electricity is available. Electrolyte is dissolved into the water but stays inside the machine. The process feels really different to my usual propane oxygen system. The flame is very hot and continuous and quite high pressured, but it's very small. This necessitates a way of working which is less like typical borosilicate rod and tube joinery and more akin to the growth of coral and plants or even crystal formations. It's a kind of incremental improvisation which I like to think of as a little subversive in the way that tree roots can crack through concrete, for example. I'm hoping to collaborate with people in the field to find a way to make these machines more suited to borosilicate artwork, more portable, for example, and with a larger torch head to melt bigger areas of glass. I wish to thank my family, students and others for helping to make these experiments possible. I believe that oxy-hydrogen electrolysis has great potential to be one of the green ways to blow glass into the future. Thanks for watching.